Hello and welcome in this beautiful spring or summer day, wherever you are, to Connections Forum for relationships, expression, healing, and this is episode 66. And today's topic is, what does it need to develop your video presence online? And our special guest is Rayne Dowell. Say hi.
Well, hi. Thank you so much for having me, Adelheid, Heidi, and Margherita. I really appreciate it, and it's just a real pleasure to be here with you today.
And we appreciate very much that you got up so early in your morning. Thank you.
So our show offers single episodes and short series of talks and interviews regarding the most urgent issues in relationship issues, personal expression, self-development, and cultural development, as well as healing of these areas. The purpose of our shows is to give you inspiration and also teach you new skills with which to handle the issues which are connected with our area of interest. Be sure to make comments and ask questions during this show. I am Margherita Crystal Lotus, an intuitive life and business mentor helping women in professional life to cope with stress and overwhelm so they can be more abundant, fulfilled, and spiritually aligned. I was born in Sweden, but for the last 20 years I live in Kingston, Ontario, that's Canada, where I have a healing retreat called Enchantment. And here I work in person with my clients in private personal development retreats. And now over to you, Heidi.
Yeah, hello, I'm Heidi, or Adelheid, and I am in wonderful Italy. We have a summer day. It's really wonderful. And we have a retreat here and a guest house, so come over and enjoy this wonderful country. As a profession, I was at least a classical singer, then a voice teacher, voice therapist, and then I became a counselor and a coach in relationship issues. And that's where I really like to work in and to bring people into better relationships with themselves and with other people, especially with their partners. Yeah, and today I think, I've forgotten, I'm also retreat host. HRA host, Hangout host, as you see here with Marguerite, and also the Wisdom Factory, where yesterday we began our first episode of the new season, and it was really great. We began with live music, and you really should go and see it. It's enough. Now we go over to Rayne Dowell. It's a long time that I wanted to have her on the show, and now finally we got that. And Rayne is, as you know, very, very, very literate in what is Google and what is all these Hangout show stuff and so on. And she has created her presence online in a quite a visible way. And today she wants to talk about it and how you can create your presence online too. And I read a little bit what she says about herself. She says her passion is to bring the best qualities of the personality and person representing their business to the forefront. To use her skills to teach and coach business professionals how to use video to engage with others, learn from them, grow with them, create their own marketing material using creativity, and have fun doing it. And you can learn more about her in expertvideocoaching.com. Rayne, would you like to add something to that?
Well, thank you for that lovely introduction. I appreciate that. I would have to say it's been an amazing journey, because I knew a solution needed to come around in terms of for video for business people, because this is such a different medium and people aren't used to seeing themselves on video. They're not used to communicating using video, and there are so many different ways to go about using video. The vlogging, there's live video streaming, which is starting to come to the fore now. There are just so many different ways that we can utilize this tool that I thought this really needs, so much information can be provided to somebody via video that there needs to be a way to set this up, because there's not just the technology parts of it. Technology parts of it, to me, is half of the equation. The other half is the person and how they come across, and their energy, and what they want to say, and their own creativity, their own unique expression. And that can only come about when they feel comfortable. Because if a person doesn't feel comfortable, that's not going to come across on video. So I sort of saw it as two components. And then there's the business side of it, as well. What do they know what their call to action is? Are they, what types of messages do they want to bring to the fore? And the different ways they have available to them, and depending on their personality, what will fit for them, what will feel natural, what will work for them, where they'll be happy and they can look back at it later, because as soon as you make a video, it's dated, it's done, it's old after that, really. So to continue doing it, it's a habit, and it's something, it's a skill, and it's something you need to get into. So I thought, there needs to be some way to figure this out, some type of solution and some way to figure this out where you can provide that to business people so that they can learn it in a set way, the technology pieces of it, but then also have somewhere, because for myself, I had to do it publicly because there was no choice. If I could have done it privately, I would most definitely have done it privately. But there was no other way.
Rayne, before we ask you the question, how did you come to that, to build your presence, and you are really quite visible, I would say, I would like to acknowledge the people who have shown up here. There is Tim Longwell, there is Richard Clarkson, there is Andrew Hatchett, and who else is here? I saw some more people. Lucy Papapostolosova. And Marco Stedele said he would come, and Phil Astons, and Barbara Quick, and Zuzu, and Kerry Rolden, and Miss Delin, and so many people, and we are really happy that they show up, because I think this is a topic which is interesting to all of us. And there are still people who are sort of afraid to show up in the camera, behind the camera, and get visible. So I wonder, was it always for you easy to be seen?
No. No. I actually knew once I found Google Hangouts, because I knew this would be the hardest thing to do. A live video is the absolute hardest. It's harder than pre-recorded. It's as difficult as it gets for video. So I knew that this was going to have to be something that I had to delve into. There was just no other choice. If I was to be able to figure out a solution and find ways to provide a way for other business professionals, I would have to go through it myself. So no, I knew for 2 months that I was going to have to do this, and I just I couldn't. Every day I was like, you have to do this, and every day I was like, no, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. But after 2 months, I sat down one day and thought, it's not about you, because I was letting my I suppose, I'm not sure if fear comes into it. It could, because there's a whole host of things that come along with an online video presence that you don't realize when you're first delving into it. And I'll be blogging about it and producing videos about that and stuff too, and helpful tips and things to do, because that's one of the things. I have a lot of empathy for people that don't want to jump into it, because I really understand that. I really, really understand that. I myself prefer to sit back and gather as much information as I possibly can before moving forward. And it was only when I realized that what I wanted to offer to people wasn't available. I couldn't do it. I couldn't practice privately. I couldn't get the feedback I needed. I couldn't, you know, these were things that I couldn't. That's why I had to go about it in a public way, because it wasn't available. So there are many stages to that growth, you know, of an online presence, and hopefully you never stop growing. Hopefully it's like life, and it expresses who you are as a human being and your own ability to grow and move forward and you know, and make connections and learn, because that's the beauty of it. That's really the beauty of it. And everybody is so unique that to be able to share that and is just, I think it's just a really great gift. Yeah.
Can you outline a little bit the stages you yourself went through and which you see that more or less everybody has to go through?
Yeah, at first, excuse me. At first, it's the technology. A lot of people struggle with the technology because there's different buttons to push, and depending on if you are just a guest, if you're a guest, there's a minimum amount, and then we're strictly speaking for YouTube live streaming events or Google Hangouts on air. There's minimal. There's sort of a, you know, there's a checklist of what you can provide the person with. So there's that technology piece to it, and then when because there's so many different pieces to it, it's getting comfortable with the technology, and once you're comfortable with the technology, and that comes in stages, then you become more confident. You know, being comfortable with the technology, you become more confident. Then you can start focusing on how you appear online, how you are coming across online. And that is a phase in itself, because you're sitting back and you're having to watch yourself objectively, you know, because you have to do it in a kind way, you know, because we're all so unique and different, but you also have to do it objectively and look at it and go, okay, you know, was I looking at the camera most of the time? Or you know, how was my lighting? You know, how was this? How was that? So you have to try to look at the different pieces that you think would help improve your journey and moving forward and how you're presenting for your online video presence. So there's many different, excuse me, I'd say like mini stages to this as you go through, and you become more and more confident and more at ease, because that's the point you want to come to, is that you feel comfortable and you're completely at ease with it, and it's really just another form of communication. It's like being in the same room with somebody and having a chat with them. Exactly. And that's the point you want to come to.
Exactly, and that's what the great actors do. You know, they can be so free in front of the camera that you think it's real life. It's not, but it is.
Yeah.
I think to me it has helped a little bit my presence on the stage as a singer. You know, with all the, but I mean, it's a little bit like here. You don't see the audience.
No,
but here we see at least each other. We are talking to each other, and we are not alone in the sense when you're on the stage and have just your part, you are alone and an unknown audience. But I wanted to say and agree, it is possible to learn that. And what I want to stress, what you said, we need to be kind with ourselves, and not like we Germans often are, oh, this was bad, and this was bad, and this was bad, and this was bad, and we don't leave anything good around it, and then at the end, oops, completely depressed.
Well, I can relate to that, because the first time I was on a live camera, I got so scared. I was cringing inside. That was 1.5 years ago, not long ago. And I had a pre-recorded session that I could put out. So I just turned it off and asked my web guy to put the video on because I couldn't handle it.
Well, the thing is we're, we're regular people. We're regular people. We're not, we didn't, we're not in Hollywood. We're not producing movies. We're not doing these kinds of things. So for us, it's a very different experience. It's a very, very different experience. And, especially, business people, they're not actors. They're not, nor should they need to be. They should be able to bring their own unique presence to their online video journey, and for that to be just a video expression of who they are, in their best sense moving forward. So yeah, I think it's a very different, and I didn't realize how different it was going to be, how different of an experience it was going to be. And there have been so many amazing people that I've met and that I would love to thank. There's Ronnie Benser's Hangout Mastery Group. He was absolutely phenomenal. He gave me opportunity to comment track on one of his shows. I've met some just really amazing people along this journey that they might not have known as much technology as I did, and so asked me, and it was really, they were really blessing me and giving me an opportunity to learn more and to hone my skills more. So just lovely. Mia asked me to comment track on a couple of her shows and co-produce, and Lynn Sanders, some of her shows, and Elaine Nieberding, Robin Holland. There are so many people that have really been amazing people and have given me the opportunities to learn that. And Melanie Hall and Sheila Strober on the Lights Camera HOA show. If Melanie hadn't have given me that opportunity to co-host the show, I wouldn't have gotten near as the practice and the experience that I've gained along the way. So I have a lot of people to thank.
So you sort of did a private university in these years. What would you say to people who still are shy and prefer to watch Hangouts instead of coming in, or even produce their own show? What would you say to them?
I totally understand, and what I would recommend, because it is a big bite. It is a very big bite to chew off, and you don't have to chew it off in one big chunk. You can go about it in small steps. So start off with video calls. Just do a video call. There doesn't have to be any recording at first. Just start off with a video and sit in a video call with yourself and use the Google effects and put hats on yourself and play noises and just have fun. Just play around and have fun and get comfortable with the interface. And then if you can have somebody join you in a video call, and you can just start chatting and just start getting, and if you go down into the lower right hand corner, you'll see a thumbnail of yourself. Even in a video call, you can click on it and it will outline in white and you'll be big on the screen. You'll take up the full screen. And while you're chatting with yourself, you can pin yourself in the screen and look at the camera, practice looking at the camera. You'll know your friend is there. You know you're talking with your friend, but practice looking in the camera. And just do that for a little while. And then you can then move into whatever your passion is, whatever you're interested in, if it's glass blowing or dog training or wherever your passion lies. Then you can start getting into actually having hangouts about them if you want, and sharing information about them, whether it's just with you sharing information. You can also use your phone. You can use your your Android or your iPhone, and you can just privately record yourself every day for 2 minutes. When you wake up in the morning, think of, 3 things you're really thankful for, and just be super animated when you record for that 2 minutes first thing in the morning about those 3 things you're really thankful for. And then you can hit record, and it's private, nobody's seen it, and do that for 3 weeks, every morning, every single morning. Do it for 3 weeks, and then after the fact, look back and share it with close friends or family or anyone. And so this was the first one I did, and then going forward, and they'll be short. They're only 2 minutes long. It's not going to take a lot of time, and you'll see even in those 3 weeks how you've progressed, because you're starting to get comfortable with the medium, and then you can start delving in a little more.
And why should we do that? Why would you recommend that many of us